Hello and how are you? My name is Mahindo Mbarak and I welcome you to the 9th video of creating a complete e-commerce web application using plain PHP. In the previous video, we stopped at the point whereby we were able to create this dynamic input for the parent category. So in today's video, we're going to now get the categories from database and then put them here, so that in case the category is a subcategory, the category that you're creating is a subcategory of a certain category, then we should be able to select from the previous or existing category. So in other words, what you're going to do today, we are going to select the category that are already in the database and be able to display them. So we have a lot of things to do to write that whole logic of creating a dynamic select function that will be getting data from what? From the database. Let's go ahead and start doing that. So I'll go straight to our code, and this is a place where we stopped at, where we're able to do what? To display these things dynamically in this select input. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to get the existing categories from database. But as I said, we have to write functions that will not allow us to repeat ourselves again and again and again. So if you write one function that will be doing for us the task of going to the database and select the data and give it to us for all the tables but one function, it will be really important for us in this project or even in other project. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to this functions file, and create that function, and we create that function that will be doing the task of selecting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to expand this files section so that you can be able to see some here in the files of function. And what you're going to do here, we're going to write here select db select. That's how we'll call it. We're going to call it database select, or what we call db select. So let me look where we had put db insert, so that these functions, at least they should be close to each other. So this is the db insert. You remember how we did it, okay? So I'm going just even to duplicate it. I can duplicate it. Oh, let us just create it from scratch. So I'm going to increase my font so you can see things clearly, and I'm going to write function, and then I'm going to call this one db select. This is going to be a dynamic function that will be getting for us data from the table at any time or for all the kinds of table. So the first thing that it will get the table that's going to select from, and the second thing that it will get the condition. Okay, so after doing those two, so the next thing that we're going to do, we are going to start now writing the SQL. So say SQL equals to, and then from here is where we're going to say select all from, and then we specify the table. Okay, so because this table will be provided, select all from this table, and then after we'll have to add the condition. But sometimes someone will not send will not send a condition, so we can make this condition to be default by nothing. Okay, so in case someone does not send a condition, we should not fall into, or we can just make it null by default. Okay, so in case someone does not send a condition, we should not fall into that problem of putting the condition when it's not really there. So after doing that, after writing this SQL, the next thing we're going to say, check if someone really sent a condition. So I'm just going to say if this condition is not equal to null, then we'll go ahead and add that condition to this SQL. So let's go ahead and do that. Just simply put here and we add where, and then we attach the condition here. Okay, we'll put the condition so like this. So the condition, this will be condition will be here. So if condition is not null, then we'll go ahead and attach this condition in this SQL. So after doing that, the next thing that we're going to do, we are now going to fetch the data. Okay, so I can just simply say the response, the resource equals to, and then we run, we first put here global connection, so that we should be able to get our connection that we had created before in this local as a local variable. So I'm going to say resource equals to, then I say connection, and then we run the SQL as query, and then here we pass the SQL. So after doing like this, we're going to go ahead and run the loop of fetching all the data. So I can say here records, or you can say rows equals to empty array. So let's go ahead and loop through the resources, the responses here. So just going to say while, and maybe you can say while row equals to, then you say resource, then you point at fetch associative array assoc. So like this, and then whatever comes, we are going to push it into this resource. We're going to add it into this rows, okay, these rows. So let's go ahead and do that. Just simply say rows, and then you put this square bracket to push there something, okay? This square bracket, rows equals to row. Okay, so this would mean that this square bracket means that this record will be pushed to this array. It will be added on top of that array. So after getting all those responses that we have looped and added these rows, so the next thing we'll have to return all the rows by just simply saying return, and then you pass the rows. So here it will be able to do what? Return the rows that we have done what? That we have collected from the database. So let's go ahead and try our function and see if it really works. I hope you've seen how I've created it. So let's go ahead and try it and see if it really works. So I'll just simply say db select, and then I'll come here back to our admin add category, this one. Let us go back to top here and just test first, okay? So I can say maybe $, and say records or rows equals to, and then we call the function db select. So the first thing that we pass the table. So you can pass the table and say rows, okay? Rows. The table is categories, categories, like this, okay? So the second parameter, it's optional because it's just for condition, and we made the condition to be null by default, and it is null, we ignore it. Let's go ahead and see if we really get these rows. So I'll just simply echo here a pre-tag, and then after doing that, I'm going to dump whatever comes back, print _r, and then we pass there the rows, and then here we die. So to die, it means that we stop the condition. So let's go ahead and run this and see what we'll come up with. I'll just simply come here and do refresh, okay? You see, I'm going to refresh here. So when I refresh, you see everything has come back. That is great. You see all the rows have come back. That is so great. So now the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to try to pass a condition and see if it will also work. So let's say where the id is 1. So I'll just simply come here and put a comma and pass a condition. So a condition will also be a string. So I can simply say id equals to 1, like this. Okay, so that's the condition. So if you refresh, you see one condition has been implemented. So our function is really working properly. Only one thing that I did not do, maybe in this where we have to make sure when we're adding this condition, we have to make sure that there's a space between here, because if you don't put space, then it will be attached to what? To the, so it's supposed to be just, you can as well concatenate here like this, and then we stop repeating ourselves by just simply adding this where, like that. It will also work. So here I just didn't want to repeat myself here. So let's go ahead and refresh and see if it's still okay. Still okay. So you see that. So it means that now we have one simple function that we will be using to collect all kind of data from the what? From the tables, or different tables. So the next thing that we're going to do right now, we're going now to get the parent categories. Parent categories, they are categories which don't have what? Which don't have parent IDs, or the categories which don't have which don't have parents. The top categories like this one, okay, like the way you see this one, clothing is a parent category, shoe is a parent category. Then these ones on bottom, they're the child categories, the one which don't have, the one that have parents. So it means that after getting these categories, where are we? Here, after getting these categories, we have to check if a category is having parent IDs. In fact, you can even pass it as a what? As a condition. Okay, so let us pass a condition where the parent ID is 0. So if a parent ID is 0, we will know that is a what? Is a parent category. So let's go ahead and refresh that, so we are able to get the parent categories. So now the next thing that we're going to do, we are going to format these rows to be in a form of select options. If you still remember our select options here, then this format, it's an ID and the value, ID and the value, ID and the value. That is the select format. So what you're going to do also, you're going to put here, you're going to create the array for categories where we'll have the IDs and the values. So let's go ahead and do that. So we will just simply say we're going to loop through these rows also. We're going to loop through this what has come back, so which are going to be for each, and then we'll pass here the rows, and then this will be the key. The key, of course, is going to be the ID. The key is going to be, do we need the key? I don't think we need the key, so I can as well remove this key and just put the val. Okay, so let's go ahead and dump this value and see how it looks like. So I'll just simply come and dump the value and see how it looks like by simply saying val like this. Okay, let's see how it looks like. So you can see the values are just ID, the name and the photo of that category, something like that. So you're going to just simply collect the ID and the name, ID and the name. So it means that we are going to create here another empty array that you're going to call, that we're going to term it as what? As categories, categories, cards, equals to empty array by default. And this category is going to have, let me name it properly, categories. And these categories is going to contain the ID and the name of that. So the parameter here will be the ID. It's going to be val and then ID, and then it will contain val, then the name, like this. Okay, so that will be our categories. Now let's go ahead and dump these categories and see what we have. You see, I'm trying to dump the categories. Now if you refresh, something is not right. Attempt to read property ID. Oh, it's not supposed to be like this. It's not an object, it's an array. So I have to put a square bracket like this. It's not an ID, it's an array. You see? So I'll cut this, so put it like this. Okay? It's not an ID, it's an array. So if you refresh, you can see we're having the ID and the value, ID and the value, and there's a what? The array. So ID is the key and the value is, what we are seeing is the text, okay, not the name of the category. Yeah, so that's great. Now let's go ahead and pass these ones to what? To the options of select that we had created. So let's go ahead to the bottom and pass this one as option of what? Of select that we created. So I'll come here to select. Okay, I'll come here to select. In fact, this category is supposed to be on top here. Let me see. We're supposed to put them here on top. That can also work. But for now, let's go ahead and focus on this one. Okay, so I'm going to come here to select. Instead of passing this dummy array, I'm going to pass now our categories. Okay, our categories. So if you refresh, now we'll have, see, clothing, and because we had only clothing. So some categories, they don't have parents, So let's go ahead and remove and put the empty thing in the first and put the empty data in the first row. So let us go ahead and do that. So we can just simply come here in this very first one. So we can add okay, we can just create here our first category, which is just having empty. So the ID is going to be 0 and the value is going to be what? It's going to be no category, no parent category, no parent. So the category that don't have parent, and then we add it to these categories by just putting this and then say equal to. I can just simply put here 0 like this, and then attach no parent. Hope that's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. So this is the first category that has no parent. So if you come and refresh, you see no parent as the default one, and it is having the ID 0. So now let's go ahead and add the remaining columns, the remaining rows. We'll just simply come to our category. So we don't have the description. We have not added the description. So let's go ahead and add the description section here. The description is going to be a select area. So we'll just simply come to here and add select area. So select area, we can also do for it the dynamic one. But for now, let us just keep it simple. We're going to just put here select area, a simple one. So I'll come here under this row and create another row here. You're going to say div, okay, div, and then this one's going to be class of row, and they're going to have here div. That's going to be class of col 12, and then here you're going to have form group. You're going to have something like this, just form group div class form group, and then here we're going to have the now going to have the label of description, and the text is going to be description, and then you're going to have your text area of what, of name, description, and then ID description. I can remove these rows and calls, and then that's it. I think I have to give it now a class of form control like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and refresh and see what we've come up with. I've come up with that, only that we maybe need to add here some margin top of 3, empty 3 or 4. So let's go ahead and refresh. We have that one, or 3. Okay, so after doing that, so it means that we have created our form for what? For selecting categories. Okay, so let's go ahead and now submit, adding a category. Now let's go ahead and add this category. But before we and add a category, so this title have to change also. Upload category, or can say add, or you can say submit. Okay, so what we're going to do here, before we add this category before we add the category into the database, we're going to first check if this data is correct. Okay, if the data is correct. So let's go ahead on top. Let's go here on top, and then we'll come to here. Before we save, before we insert, we're going to first dump the data and see if things are really okay before we start inserting. So I just simply come and say echo, and then put here pre-tag, and then we're going to dump everything that is in data before we insert it. Okay, that has come through the post, has come to the post. Print underscore r, and then we first dump everything that is in the post before we insert it. And then here I can put die. So I'll save, and then let's go ahead and refresh here. So I can put here maybe which other category do you have? We have shoes. Let's go ahead and put shoes. and then the parent category, it has no parent category. Okay, let's try to test by selecting clothes, and then we'll select its photo. Select here some photo, and then just put here maybe some details about this. So submit. We can see we have the name, we have the parent ID, it is well set, and we have the description. So everything is okay, only that the photo is in file, so it was not included. So if I put here the data, the whole data, if you refresh, you can see the photo was not uploaded. The photo was not uploaded. Is it the logic after uploading the photo? Let's see. Upload photos, yes. So image, because JSON encode images. Oh, you see the mess that we are doing. We are cleaning images again. Let me put this one on top. Let me delete this. In fact, we were deleting everything that was an image array. So let's go ahead and refresh and see if things are okay now. So everything is okay, only that the description is not there. So let's go ahead and add description. Description, it is here. This is the name, and it has come, but we only have not saved it here. So I'll go ahead and add description here as this. So then we can go ahead and save. So I can remove this die, and then always remember to clean this form after you have finished saving. So let's go ahead and refresh. Perfect. So if you come and refresh now, if you try to add a new category, this sign out button should be for add new, right? Okay, we're going to add it there. So let us go back and see, create category, refresh. You can see we have the categories listed there. That is great. Okay, that is beautiful. So let's refresh and add maybe one more category. For example, gadgets, and then can call this, it has no parent, and then you can give it a photo, and then we can put here maybe gadgets details just for testing. Submit. Category, created category successfully. So that's great. I hope you are also at that very point. So make sure that you're also at the same point. So after doing that, now we're going to display here the categories. Okay, you're going to display here categories. So we'll come here to our template and see where they are displaying products on the dashboard of the user, and you can find that under what. So this template is complete. Let's go ahead and see where I can display that. So just simply come to account, come to vendor, come to products. So in these products is where we'll find a section where these categories are being listed. So what you're going to do is, the products are going to be being listed. So what we're going to do, we are going to copy all these categories. We're going to copy this HTML and do what? And manipulate it by displaying it in the category. By displaying our categories. So let's go ahead and do that. So we can find this in dashboard products. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll just simply come to our template, and then you have your dashboard products here. So you can look where the products are being listed. So you can see here from the template, the products are starting from here where there's what your products. So let's go ahead and search for that in our template. This is the template and this is the file. So let's go ahead and search for it by just simply pressing Ctrl F, and you can see your products are here. So I'm going to copy here where they're being listed, so I can collapse this guy. So let me see where I have to start from. As you can see from our category, we have to start where there is the word content. Okay, here with this content tag. So let's go ahead and copy where there is content tag. You can see the content tag is here. So I can just simply collapse this section of content. Okay, and copy it. Then come and remove this section of content and put what I want. Though we will align everything in the next video and make sure that things are looking okay in the next video. So you can see I'll just paste it there, plain HTMLs. Okay, now let's go ahead and refresh. Okay, did you save? Oh, this is add categories. Sorry. I've just deleted the logic that I just done. This is for adding category. So you have to come to categories, this file of categories, admin categories. Okay, so I'll collapse and then look for content here. I can collapse this guy and put the content that I want. So I can come and rename here on top, not your products, but I can put products categories on top. Okay, so there we are. So let's go ahead and refresh. So you can see those are product categories there. Okay, so instead of having this button, we can put there the button for adding new product. Okay, a button for adding new product. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we'll add it later. We'll add this here. Here I'll put the button of adding new what? Adding new category. Okay, add new. So after doing that, now the next thing we're going to now select and display the categories that we have here. Okay, so let's go ahead and write the selection. Remember that selection of categories, we already have it. We already have it here on add category. We already have it here. Categories. Okay, we already have it here. You can get them from here. So I'll just simply come and paste it here on top. Okay, by saying our categories. So in fact, I can even just put this one on the very first here. So our categories equals to categories, then the where I can remove it, the where I can remove it and leave it as what? As null. Only that maybe we need order to descending. Okay, order to descending. We can just simply put here where, just put one like this, and then you can put order by ID, and then you put desk. I hope that's okay. Let's try to refresh as if the SQL is still okay. Yeah, the SQL is still okay. So this one just telling it to order it by descending, and where is just where everything is true. Now here you can see, let me first dump here and you see what we have, what we've got back. So echo pre-tag, and then print underscore r, and then we dump everything there. Let's die here, and then let's go ahead and refresh. You see our categories have come back and the IDs are being sorted to what? To descending. Okay, so everything is okay. Now let's go ahead and do what? And display these categories. So to display the categories, we'll just need only a single item here. So we'll come where there is these repetitive things of product. You see product. So what you're going to do, you're just going to need only one. So you can collapse these others and delete them. Okay, you delete these others, collapse them here, and then we can delete from here up to here, and we'll have that. So if you come and refresh, you'll have only a single what? A single category product. So we're going to loop and display multiple of these products, or all the products. So to do that, we'll just simply say for each, we're going to just open first our PHP tag and then close it, and then we're going to loop and say for each, then we pass the categories variable that we collected here on top. For each categories, so delete this guy and then cut this maybe, and then come here and close this guy here by just simply saying PHP and then close and then put here save. Oh, my battery is running, I'm not charged. So we can refresh now. We'll be able to see all the categories there. When you refresh, you can see the categories are listed. So all that you need is just to display their names and their respective photos. And let's do that in the next lecture. I hope you'll not miss. So the achievement today is we were able to get all the categories from the database and be able to display them to our user interface. So in the next class, we'll be able to display their respective names and their respective photos. So hope you'll not miss that in the next coming lecture. And goodbye.